Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here on the School of Quantum YouTube channel of the Hidden Quantum Champion series. Today we are looking into a institute, the Open Quantum Institute, which is a institute within CERN or founded within CERN. And if you want to learn what role this institute actually plays and what they are kind of facilitating, then stay tuned for today's video so you don't miss out on all of that information. And with that, let's hop right into their website. So it says, the Open Quantum Institute, the collaborative platform developing quantum computing for the benefit of all. The Open Quantum Institute, OQI, is a multilateral governance initiative that promotes global and inclusive access to quantum computing and the development of applications for the benefit of humanity. As a novel science diplomacy instrument, it offers a neutral platform for international collaboration between research, diplomacy, private sector, and philanthropy stakeholders. And it's an initiative hosted by CERN, born at GESDA, which is an institution in the diplomacy sector, and supported by UBS, which is a bank in Switzerland, where CERN is also located. Participating partner of the IYQ, this is the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology, logo also down here, which is 2025, where this video also has been produced in, but it's probably already going to be presented to you in 2026. About their mission, so with the support of the global OQI community, we are advancing our mission structured by four main objectives known as the 4 A's. A1, accelerating applications for humanity. We are exploring how quantum computing can accelerate the achievements of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, thanks to the combined forces of research and developers, entrepreneurs, the United Nations, and larger NGOs. A2 is access for all. We are providing global, inclusive, and equitable access to a pool of public and private quantum computers and simulators via the cloud. A3 is advancing capacity building. We are developing educational tools to enable everyone around the world to contribute to development of quantum computing and to make the most of the technology. And then A4, activating multilateral governance for the SDGs. So we are providing a neutral forum to help shape the multilateral governance of quantum computing for the SDGs. Quick view from my point on that. So I think these are all, of course, very honorable goals that they are striving for. So good to see that they are trying to really bake into this technology they use for humanity to make it also accessible. I like the fact that they also want to make quantum computers accessible via the cloud. Education is, of course, very near and dear to me as well, because all what this channel is about is basically education. And then, I mean, on the multilateral governance, I cannot say too much, but I guess it also is an honorable goal. I'm recording this beginning of December, and if we are looking here at the news, we see that they are very, very active. So you just see already from December 2 new news articles here on the website. One of them being OQI at COP30, connecting quantum and sustainability in LATAM, Latin America, I guess, and then exploring quantum diplomacy at Africa Quantum Summit. So you see they are also active around the globe. There are also additional news down here and upcoming events mentioned here, as well as a call to action to join the community. And I'm already part of that community, so please, if you are interested in this, also make sure to join this community here and reach out to me also on that platform. And then again, of course, they are based or hosted more or less in CERN, so they are part of CERN in Switzerland, in Geneva. With that, let's quickly take a look on these main 4 pillars that we've seen here, which is first of all the access, right? Access for all. We've seen that. OQI is partnering with industry to provide open, inclusive access to a pool of quantum computers and simulators via the cloud. capacities provided by OQI through our industry partners. OQI is supporting the development of quantum computing use cases that work to address real-world challenges and accelerate the achievements of the UN Sustainability Development Goals. And then I guess there's some the other points mentioned down here again. On the application side of things, it says accelerating applications for humanity. So humanity is at the focus. It's using quantum computers throughout the different areas, but always with the goal to do something for humanity. At OQI, we are exploring how quantum computing can accelerate the achievements of the quantum nation sustainability goals through the development of real-world use cases. Keep reading to explore selections of use cases currently being developed. So here are a couple of those cases, I guess. So use cases, white papers. So there's like every year white papers published by them. And then here is the use case portfolio. So it's you can see there's carbon reduction, sustainable food production, water leak detection, eliminating forever chemicals from water sources, accelerating novel antimicrobial discovery, molecular docking of cleanup pollution, plant genomics, food security, last mile delivery, layout of turbines in a wind farm, smart grid management, predicting gastrointestinal cancer, carbon capture, antimicrobial resistance, flood risk assessment, illegal mining, women's healthcare, water resource management, coated fertilizer design, drug metabolism design, weather and climate forecasting, resilient global food supply, medical imaging, linen/plastic recycling, biodiversity and climate change, materials for sustainable water desalination, shallow water simulation for ocean health, new processes for fertilizer production, novel batteries, carbon capture and catalysis, fusion, grid management and power flow, genomics, sustainable routing, logistics, smart agriculture, quanta-bind, accelerating drug discovery using programmable quantum simulation, quantum pangenomics, quantum computing for covalent inhibitors in drug discovery, quantum computing for photon-drug interactions and cancer prevention, quantum biomarker algorithms for multimodal cancer data, molecular recognition from quantum computing for hydrolysis, reaction in protein environments, protein structure prediction using the face-centered cubic letters, so FCC letters, and protein salvation pipeline. So you see many different cases here, and then I guess when you click on it, you can also learn more about the context. So you can see the origins of the contributors, learn more about the impact and the context and how quantum could help on each single one of those. So you see there's a lot of interesting studies. There's also some information here about use cases they are working on, and I guess the countries that people are actually working in or on in these use cases. So you see it's pretty widespread across the globe. And you see it goes through different phases here. So there is some more indications on that as well. Quickly about the education that they are doing, advancing capacity building. OQI is curating and supporting educational activities to further advance understanding of participation in the development of quantum computing applications for the SGDs. OQI Educational Consortium. So OQI's Educational Consortium brings together domain experts, quantum experts, and diplomatic stakeholders to align, co-shape best practices in advancing capability building and making educational tools and materials globally available. Then there's also Hackathon in a Box. Hackathons bring people together to innovate, solve problems, and create solutions. OQI Hackathon in a Box is a practical open access guide that you can use to plan a quantum computing hackathon, especially in regions with limited access to technology. Then there's the diplomacy game and an internship program as well. Interested in hosting an OQI activity? OQI supports activities such as regional events, hackathons, and the playing of quantum diplomacy game that align with missions of advancing quantum computing through open collaboration, education, and innovation. Events and activities aligned with these principles can be supported or inspired by OQI. And then there's OQI supported activities and OQI inspired activities, depending on the different orientations you're looking into. There's also something here about the diplomacy point of view, so activating multilateral governance for the SGDs, switching on multilateral anticipation, and there's also some reports annually published here. It says OQI has the potential to be the first truly multilateral effort to anticipate the future of quantum computing. As a neutral multi-stakeholder platform, OQI is working to develop an effective governance approach to ensure that quantum computing is harnessed to advance applications that tackle real-world global challenges. Since 2021, the OQI has been curating a diplomatic dialogue on quantum computing with permanent representations in Geneva, with inputs from UN, international organizations, the private sector, and academia. As a first step, OQI is working on the basis for a common understanding of multilateral governance themes most relevant to quantum computing. The outcome of this work is shown in the annual intelligence report, and the one for 2025 is already here, so you can go check that out. Continuing this dialogue, OQI has created Quantum Unplugged, an initiative that invites the diplomatic community to collaboratively explore the concepts of quantum mechanics and quantum computing, fostering open dialogue and leaving jargon at the door. Together with the diplomatic community, we are working to collaboratively build capacity and co-shape the developing technology for the benefit of all. And I want to put a quick point on that one as well, because I think it's a relevant point as well. So right now, in the day and age we are today, quantum technology is still a very deep tech kind of technology. So not many people are understanding what it actually is, what it does, how it works. And I think not everybody needs to understand it all the way down to its super detail. But if it really becomes such a big thing as people think it is, then I think it needs to be a very inclusive thing. So we need to get more people on board, and more people means not only scientists, but also, of course, engineers. But besides the engineers, you also need the less technical people. So you need to have people that can organize the things around it. You need to make this inclusive for the society. So there will be societal impacts on that as well. There will be impacts that also play a role besides the pure, let's say, scientific side of things, right? So think about if you are starting a company in that space today, you might want to patent your algorithms. If you come from an academia side of things, you might not have a big understanding about how that works in detail. So you need to get lawyers on board that can help you, for example, to build a good IP strategy. And there are many, many different aspects throughout the whole idea of building a business that play a role here. So think about, you want to get with your quantum chips into mass production. Suddenly you need to have people who understand how to bring chips from a research status into mass production with yield management, quality management, and everything that comes around it. So basically bringing a technology from the lab to a mass production status, ramping it up, scaling it up, it requires a lot of different facets, a lot of different understandings, also the business perspective, right? And you need to get all of those in. And in order to enable those, you need to enable people to understand how the whole quantum technology works, how in this specific case, quantum computing works. But the same is also true for quantum sensing and quantum communication. So we need to make this broadly accessible. And my personal belief on that is that everyone has a different access angle to it. So everyone comes with a different interest in it. And for example, this series here, the Hidden Quantum Champions, gives you, let's say, an economic perspective on it. So you come in with your interest in learning about new companies from that space and in getting a broader scope on what kind of companies are out there. And that kind of gradually gets you to understand how these different technologies work, like how a single photon superconducting single photon detector works, how quantum communication is set up, what type of different schemes there are to realize a qubit and to build a quantum computer with it. What are the issues that these different quantum technologies are kind of going into when scaling up, right? So from your economic interest, you kind of get into the physics part of it. And I think it is with many of those applications like this, you come in from a pharmaceutical field. You want to know what are the next things that are relevant for me if I want to develop new molecules, which is my business model as a pharmaceutical company. So you come in with that interest and then you learn about these aspects. And I think there are many facets, and we need to start covering those. We need to give people an easier access, and that's also what this initiative here, the School of Quantum, is about. I want to give you a new access point on how to learn about these types of technologies, about these new ideas and paradigms, and how they might have an impact on what you're doing today or what you might be doing in the future. With that, long story short, let's quickly hop into the About page just so that we can also close today's session. So about OQI, the Open Quantum Institute is a multilateral governance initiative that promotes global and inclusive access to quantum computing and the development of applications for benefit of humanity. As a novel science diplomacy instrument, it offers a neutral platform for national collaboration between research, diplomacy, private sector, philanthropy stakeholders. OQI is hosted by CERN during its pilot phase from 24 to 26. What makes us different? As a global multi-stakeholder and science diplomacy-driven initiative, we are doing things a little differently. We are broadening the access to quantum computers and simulators through partnerships with industry providers who donate capacity on their devices so that we can redistribute to quantum underserved geographies through the development of quantum use cases to tackle the SDGs. Then we are bringing together quantum scientists, subject matter experts, and SDG owners, including UN organizations, large NGOs, and the diplomatic community to explore the potential of quantum computing for society and the planet. And then finally, we are establishing an educational consortium to develop capacity building tools, broadening the opportunity for everyone around the world to contribute to advancement of quantum computing applications and benefit from the technology. Meet our main partners. So the OQI is an initiative hosted by CERN, born at GESDA and supported by UBS. So these three here. With that, I think we are already coming to the end of today's episode. I hope you liked it. Today was a little bit of a different angle because we are not looking per se at a company, but more at an institution. If you found it interesting, make sure to leave the video a like and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on the next one, which is probably going to be about a company again more than about an institute. And with that, as always, stay hydrated and see you in the next one. Bye bye.